Welcome to the Northwest Sports Fanatics YouTube channel. I am your host, Orion. Got a great show for you here today between the Detroit Tigers and the Seattle Mariners. First pitch is going to be here just momentarily. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Tuesday, everyone. And on the thumb on the left is Spencer Torkelson. And on the right, welcome back, third baseman Brendan Donovan. Now let's go to the starting lineups here quickly for both teams. Leading off for the Tigers at third base, Kevin McGonigal. Batting second baseman Gleyber Torres. Batting third, catcher Dylan Dingler. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, left fielder Riley Green. Batting fifth, DHing Colt Keith. Batting sixth, first baseman Spencer Torkelson. Batting seventh, center fielder Max Clark. Batting eighth, shortstop Javi Baez. And batting ninth, right fielder Zach McKinstry. And on the mound for the Mariners, with a 6-5 record, ERA of 3.26, it is Emerson Hancock. So I've had to do a little bit of adjusting. We have a heat wave, obviously, here, and one of my microphones ended up having an issue. So I've been kind of scrambling to kind of get everything set up. So hopefully everything is good to go. And again, I'm going to have to kind of do things on the fly since I've been kind of rushed, here a little bit. So, bear with me until I get everything kind of situated the best way that I can. Also had our fridge breakdown earlier today, so it's been a very challenging day. First pitch there from Hancock to McGonigal, fouls that one off, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. Change up 85 miles an hour. No balls and 2 strikes to Kevin McGonigal. 0-2 pitch, foul ball, behind the plate and out of play. And again, Mitch Garver being released, Rob Refsnyder being released, which is fantastic. Johnny Pareda getting called up. Obviously, we're just waiting now for Cade Anderson, but things are starting to look really dicey, for maybe other teams. We are starting to look like we know, we can look at the beginning of the year. Big swing and a miss, and down he goes, and that is one away. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Next up is Gleyber Torres. Top of the first inning, 0-0 Tigers and Mariners. First pitch is high and inside, sinker at 94 miles an hour, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking high and away, four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike to Gleyber Torres. On deck is Dylan Dingler. Big swing and a miss on a 1-1 pitch, cutter, 95 miles an hour. No, 85, off speed by Hancock. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. 0-0 Tigers and Mariners. Jason in the building, what's good? All day in the building. John, I see you. Daniel in the building. Samantha and Joe, I see you. And a hard hit ball up the middle. Cole Clutch Young right there. Nice soft throw to Naylor. And that is 2 away. All day, I see you. Lawrence in the building, what's good? Great moves, picking up, even guys that I mean, I think we were anticipating more moves than just Taylor Ward, but we'll take it. I'm glad that we did not get rid of, obviously, Emerson Hancock or George Kirby. And it kind of felt like we weren't going to be getting rid of Randy based on, his hitting ability. And again, we'll just kind of wait and see how the chemistry kind of plays out with these teams. First pitch in there to Dingler for a strike, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, big swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes from Hancock to Dingler. Emerson Hancock, 6-5 record, ERA of 3.26. So obviously, his name was brought up, as far as, someone that we could potentially trade. But, again, I'm happy that we just got rid of Castillo and made the right decision, getting rid of Garver, bringing up Pareda, and getting rid of Rob Refsnyder. So the team is actually looking the way that it should have probably looked months ago. 0-2 pitch, fouled off and out of play. No balls and 2 strikes from Hancock to Dingler. 0-2 pitch. Popped up, Julio is there. And that's the no-fly zone getting the job done. And that is 1 up, 1 down, 2 up, 2 down, 3 up, 3 down, and that's what we like to see. Next up, obviously, for the Tigers on the mound with a very impressive 6-1 record, ERA of 1.75. That is Troy Melton. And now let's get into the starting lineups for your Seattle Mariners. And I apologize I wasn't able to get going earlier. I was just scrambling with this broken fridge as well as one of my mics going down. So it's been very challenging today, and I hope you can bear with me. Leading off for the Mariners at second base, my favorite player, Cole Clutch Young. Batting second, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Batting third, right fielder Dominic Canzone. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Batting fifth, first baseman, it's Josh Naylor. Batting sixth, catching today for Seattle, big dumper Cal Raleigh. Batting seventh, someone pinch me, is this real? Third baseman, Brendan Donovan. Exciting. Batting eighth, DHing from the Angels and the Orioles. And if you remember when he was on the Angels, he killed us, Taylor Ward. And again, he's a patient hitter. Stats aren't very good this season. But again, if he can be a patient hitter like JP, it could really help us out at the end of the lineup. And batting ninth, the shortstop phenom who ended up having the walk-off on the previous matchup, Colt Emerson. Tridents up. Let's go, Ems. We're going to be shooting for 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. 94 subs to go to 24,600. We're making some ground. Still looking for our first dono on our dono train. And let's take a look to see where we're at on the likes here early on. And again, I do apologize. I wanted to get going about 10 minutes before first pitch, but things were not going the way that I wanted here. We are at 27 likes. $73 to go. Reflect in the building. What's good? First pitch to Cole Clutch Young, high and away. Four-seam fastball there, missing by Melton. 95 miles an hour. 1-0 count. Two-0 pitch, high and away. Slider, 86 miles an hour, missing, low and at the knees. And a 2-0 pitch leads to a pitch high and away. Cutter, 90 miles an hour, 3-0 count. And a 3-0 count turns into ball 4, pitch low and away. And again, Cole Clutch Young getting on early. We like that. Nice job there by the patience by Cole Clutch Young. 4 straight balls. We'll take it. Let's go, Cole. My favorite player on the team. And again, he can do offense. He can do defense. He can do it all. Next up, in the 2-hole, left fielder Randy Arozarena. On deck, the Italian stallion, Dominic Canzone. First pitch there with the sinker. 1-0 count. Reflect with the 20. Appreciate you. And again, today has just been a nightmare, man. The family fridge went down. Lots of hectic panic. Trying to make sure food doesn't spoil and trying to get another fridge as soon as possible. Then one of my mics ended up having some issues, and I kept testing it over and over and over, and it still wasn't reading. So I decided to unplug everything and kind of test everything to make sure everything was good through both speakers. And that's why I ended up just getting here right before first pitch. 1-0 pitch, big swing and a miss, high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike from Melton to Orosarena. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, high and inside. Splitter 89 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Randy Orosarena. 1-2 pitch, fouled off high and away. Four-seam fastball 97 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Randy Orosarena. Reflect with a 20, getting us started in this hectic day for me. $20 holla, 80 to go. Great to see you. Randy with a slow dribbler up the middle. Is it going to be a double play? And Randy not getting enough hustle to first base, and the double play is acquired there by the Tigers. Would like to see Randy hustle a little bit more, but we know there has been issues, with him hustling to first as well as for ground balls and left. Cole did a nice, slide that wasn't dirty whatsoever to try to hold up the second baseman. But again, good out just before Randy could get to first. And again, hopefully he'll be able to learn how to hustle sometime before the season ends. Big double play there, and that is 2 away. Next up is the Italian Stallion, Dominic Canzone. First pitch to Canzone is a ball from Melton, 1-0 count. And again, Troy Melton, 6-1 record, 1.75 ERA. So obviously very, very good. 1-0 pitch, check swing, ends up being a strike. Right on the corner with the splitter, 1 ball and 1 strike from Melton to Canzone. 1-1 pitch, little blooper into shallow center, and it drops, baby. Let's go. We like that, baby. Yeah, and we know the smoke out in Oregon and Washington based on those Spokane fires is, obviously trickled down to Oregon, and it's, supposed to be 90 and above for like 5-6 days in a row. You can't even see the sun. It's like red, and then it's all smoke, and it's been like that since maybe a day or two ago. And again, I don't really want to be out there with Paisley, but we still got to get our exercise. But definitely very, very smoggy and smoky where I'm at right now, and hopefully you guys can stay safe as well inside the best that you can. Obviously I got to keep the exercise levels going with me and Paisley, so we kind of have to battle through it. But again, hopefully you guys are managing the smoke as well. First pitch takes a strike, looking high and away, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, another ball there to Julio Rodriguez, low and away, slider 88 miles an hour. 1-1 pitch, Julio pops it up. It's in the McGonigal there and shallow third, and that is out number 3. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. And again, I do apologize I wasn't able to get going earlier, but as everyone knows, or if you don't, obviously if you check social media and whatnot, Rob Refsnyder, see you later, and that $7 million contract, obviously kind of like Dylan Moore, we hung on to him a little bit too long, but at least they came to their senses at the beginning of August, not in the beginning of September. Mitch Garver, you had the veteran presence, but we know Johnny Pareda was better, and Garver now is gone, and it won't surprise me if Refsnyder goes back to Boston and starts raking, or Garver goes, to Texas or somewhere else where he's played and does well. But again, for us, it's, time to move on. Johnny Pareda is the backup catcher. He should have been the backup catcher all along, but sometimes you just got to be able to be patient, I guess, with the front office, but at least they figured it out, and then we ended up only only making one move for Taylor Ward. But again, I think it's good, right? We have Donnie coming back, right? We get another guy, obviously like Taylor Ward, that can be like a J.P. Crawford and be patient in the box. And we got Brash, Criswell, and Vargas coming back. There really was no need. And then, Mariners, okay. What about Mason Miller? And then the Padres said Cade Anderson. And you know what we said? Hell no. So obviously, Cade is the future. And I'm really proud of the organization by not dealing Kirby and Hancock for lower tier talent. It gives us still a great starting five. And if anybody gets hurt, guess who's next up? You know it, Cade Anderson. All right, let's see who's up next here as we go to the top of the second inning here for the Tigers and Mariners. Next up for the Tigers in the 4-hole, left fielder Riley Green. Batting second in the 5-hole, DHing Colt Keith. And batting third in the 6-hole, first baseman Spencer Torkelson. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Velasco in the building. What's good? Blue Jay in the building. I see you. Yeah, I mean, everyone's going to be happy with Rob and Garver being released because obviously Rob stinks, right? And we know that Garver, it kind of stinks too, right? Pareda, we had a better option and you sent down the better option. And if you remember in May when we were doing well, who was on the team? Johnny Pareda. As soon as he left the team, we went on a slump. Coincidence? I think not. 0-1 pitch fouled off low and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Hancock to Green. Fanatics like us and people that watch baseball could clearly see that Ref Snyder needed to go and clearly could see that Pareda was better than Garver, not only catching but hitting. But again, the front office, is very stubborn. They don't like to make mistakes and say, hey, I made a mistake. They don't want to admit it. It's clear. But again, at least they finally look themselves in the mirror. And if they really want to be serious on making a push in the American League, you got to get rid of the weak links. And we got rid of Castillo, we got rid of Ref Snyder, got rid of Garver, and obviously brought in Taylor Ward, and Donnie is back, which is great. Pareda is back, so that is very exciting. Pitch fouled off, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Riley Green as that pitch, curveball low and away, ends up skimming the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Hancock to Green. Back-to-back curveballs almost in the same spot there, low and away. 75, 76 miles an hour. 2 balls, 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Top of the second, 0-0, Tigers and Mariners. 2-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. Let's go. Emerson Hancock getting Riley Green out. We like that. Down goes Riley. And that is 1 away. Next up is Colt Keith. On deck is Spencer Torkelson. It's kind of silly when you end up having a better option and then the organization sends down the better option. Remember Logan Evans on how great he did in a few starts last year? And then what do we do? Once he ends up getting like a 9, 10, 11K game, we sent him down to AAA. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. But again, the front office doesn't make a lot of sense a lot of the time. But at least recently, they're starting to gain the fan base back piece by piece and day by day. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. Sinker 94 miles an hour, no balls and 2 strikes from Hancock to Keith. 0-2 pitch, and a line drive towards first. Oh, and Young tried to scoop it with his glove, but just couldn't. Exit velo was a little too high there, and we end up getting Colt Keith there with a single. Yeah, and again, I was one of those weirdos, and let me know if you were one of those weirdos as well that refreshed on Passan over and over and over and ended up watching, the ESPN deadline show. And I just kept refreshing and refreshing. Okay, it's like, oh, wait, we got Taylor Ward. And then I was just kind of praying, let's not trade Hancock and Kirby, especially when we got down to the last 30 minutes. I was like, we need to keep them. We're not going to get equal value based on everyone else that got signed. We would have not got, equal value. We could have gotten some bullpen guys, but they wouldn't have been Mason Miller-ish, and it would have been a failure. So I think they did a good job staying put and only getting Taylor Ward. 0-1 pitch and a ball low and away to Torkelson, cutter, 89 miles an hour. And normally I don't say, at the deadline, we did great, but again, in the last couple years, we actually have done pretty damn good, with the pickups that we've gotten to try to get us a little bit further. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle, cutter 88 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. Top of the second inning, 0-0 Tigers and Mariners. And again, I don't know if I've been this excited, for the Mariners. I mean, obviously, I'm always excited, as you guys know. But again, just, looking at the shape of the roster, getting Donnie back, going to get Brash and Vargas and Criswell back soon. So we know we have 3 bullpen guys coming. Getting rid of Castillo on that contract. Cade Anderson, is number 6 now. So if there's any type of injury, we know that he can end up coming up next. Big swing and a miss there by Torque. I love it. 4-seam fastball, high and away, 96 miles an hour, and that's 2 up and 2 down. But again, we'll start off Cade probably in the pen. Hopefully he'll get called up this year. And then if there's any issue to any minor or major injury, Cade is next up. And Ryan Sloan ain't too shabby either. And we got Lazaro Montez as well as Michael Arroyo that we didn't trade away in the farm. And I'm really happy about that since we've already seen, guys like Ben Williamson and Harry Ford that we thought would be a part of this franchise for many, many years, and they were not. So it's kind of nice to be able to stick to our guys in the farm. And I know you guys agree as well. First pitch is high and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike to Max Clark there, a young phenom who got called up recently. 1 ball and 1 strike from Hancock to Clark. Sinker, 94 miles an hour, painting the corner. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at first with 2 outs. Top of the second inning, 0-0 Tigers and Mariners. 1-1 pitch, popped up and out of play. And again, I'm still trying to figure out, kind of like mic placement, because usually I would have like 1 on the left and 1 on the right. So this is a little awkward, but also I didn't want it to like cover my face. But also in my mouth, but I also want you guys to be able to hear me. So I don't know. I guess I'll have to kind of experiment, based on, mic position and where I decide to have it and whatnot. But hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Very, very rushed before I could get to this stream. And hopefully everything is good on your guys' end as it is on mine. 1-2 pitch, high and away, 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. Top of the second, 0-0 Tigers and Mariners. Two pitch, high and away, and a throw to second, and safe. Just not in time to Colt Emerson there by Cal Raleigh. And again, Garver, obviously, very streaky, but not good enough to be on our team, even though he had World Series experience, with the Texas Rangers. Rev Snyder was a disaster. But again, what's our luck that as soon as those two guys get released, they'll go to new teams or their old teams, Rangers and Red Sox, and they'll start raking. It probably will happen. I mean, it's just our luck. But again, it's, best for business to get them off our team. And I know everyone is happy about that, especially Rev Snyder. I don't think a lot of us really minded Garver as the backup, but knowing that you got Pareda that's better at catching and hitting, especially hitting, and you decided to send him to AAA, shame on you, Mariners, but at least you wronged your right and righted your wrong. 3-2 pitch. High and inside, and that sinker just inside, and Clark is going to end up going to first. And now we got runners at first and second with 2 outs, and let's see if we can keep it that way. Next up in the 8-hole, shortstop Javi Baez. On deck is Zach McKinstry. And as you know, on the mound, one of our dogs, one of our aces, 6-5 record, ERA of 3.26. It is Emerson Hancock. And again, starting 5 in the pitching now, very, very sexy. With obviously Gilbert as our 1, Kirby as our 2, as that pitch is popped up into deep right. Oh! And Dominic Canzone with a catch in foul territory, running into the wall and not injuring himself. Can you believe it? Randy would never. Unbelievable. And we leave the 2 runners stranded. Great defense there by Dominic Canzone. But I'm really liking the shape of the team. I know the Taylor Ward signing isn't the sexiest, especially since his numbers are down with Baltimore, but sometimes a change of scenery can bring back those Angel vibes. And if you remember when he was on the Angels, he played multiple positions. He can end up playing, catcher. He can end up, even though we don't need it, he can play outfield. He can play third. There's a few, positions that Taylor Ward can play. And, even if we have him at DH primarily, I don't know if that's going to be the case, but it's just nice to know that we got a guy that can play multiple because we may need it. All right, let's go to the bottom of the second inning and let's get on the board after that brilliant defense by Dom in foul territory. Next up in the 5-hole, first baseman, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. Batting second in the 6-hole, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And someone pinch me, am I dreaming? A guy that was batting 300 to 350 in the first month and a half, one of the only guys that wasn't struggling early on, just like we saw with Julio, Cal, and Naylor. Third baseman, welcome back, Brendan Donovan. You know, there is rumors that Luke Raley might be out for the year, you know, based on Hollander and a few other execs and a part of the front office. Hopefully that's not true. But again, it's possible that Luke Raley could be out for the year. But again, we will be getting JP back in a little bit, as well as Brash, Criswell, and Vargas in the pen. Vargas has not pitched all year. And even though he did blow a lot of the games for us last season, I would rather have him than any AAA guy that we've had. Rucker, Davila, Hoppy that we traded away, Simpson, you know, and again, those guys like Rucker and Davila at times were okay, you know, but I would rather have guys that are pros rather than guys that maybe aren't really ready yet for the big leagues. And again, you know, we're really starting to shape up the team. And again, it's been a minute, you know, since we've been really satisfied on the way the team looks. But I think most Mariner fans, if you're looking at the roster, it's looking pretty damn sexy, if I might say myself. Bottom of the second, 0-0 Tigers and Mariners. Next up is Josh Naylor. 0-1 pitch. Splitter ends up missing there. 1 ball and 1 strike from Melton to Naylor. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 1-1 pitch, little dribbler towards first, cutter, 92 miles an hour, and out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the second inning, 0-0 Tigers and Mariners. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. He is incredible. He is a genius, a phenom. And I always will support my friends that have dreams as big as his and as big as mine. 1-2 pitch, little slow dribbler there by Josh Naylor, up to second base and the shortstop, throw to first, toe tap on the bag, and that is 1 away. Next up in the 6-hole, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. We're at 20 on the dono train, 80 to go. First pitch to big dumper, little slow dribbler towards first base. Toe tap on the bag. Good hustle by Cal, but not in time, and that is 2 up and 2 down. And the batter that I've been so patiently anticipating, and the injuries this season have been insane. I've been a fan of this team for about 40 years, and I have never, ever in my lifetime seen so many injuries in one half season than in 2026. But our guys are starting to get healthy, and let's see if Brendan Donovan can give us some of that Soto mojo and that Mariner magic. First pitch takes a strike right down the middle, 0-1 count. And I was curious to see if they were going to put Donnie as leadoff right away, you know, or if they were going to keep Cole there and then slowly but surely letting Donnie move up the order based on how he does, which I assume that's what they're going to do. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, 4-seam fastball, low and away. No balls and 2 strikes to Brendan Donovan. Congratulations with Donnie having his second child, and that's why he could have been back for the previous series, but family is always first. 0-2 pitch, popped up and out of play. 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Bottom of the second, 0-0 Tigers and Mariners, but I know a lot of us Mariner fans were hoping that he was going to be there against the Twins because we desperately needed him. But he is here now, and hopefully he doesn't have any more injuries for the rest of the season. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what Sir Anthony does as well, you know, and obviously it was really for the money to get that off the books since Castillo was one of the highest paid players on the team, as well as Ref Snyder, and we ended up cutting our losses, thank God. And he gets popped up into shallow left, and that is Riley Green, and that is out number 3. But hopefully Donnie gets going at some point before this game is over, and I believe he will. All right, let's go to the top of the 3rd inning and see who's up next here for the Tigers. Next up for the Tigers in the 9-hole, right fielder Zach McKinstry. Batting second, the phenom, rookie, third baseman, 0 for 1 with a K, Kevin McGonigal. He's a freaking sweet player, man, let me tell you. And batting third, 0 for 1, second baseman, former Yankee, Gleyber Torres. 50th anniversary for the Seattle Mariners, 40-plus years on the radio for this legend and icon. He's retiring after this season from the booth, so we want to make sure he goes out with a bang. And again, every stream will be dedicated to the one and the only Rick Riz. We love you. We've been making some ground on the subs as well. We're at 24,506, 94 to go to 24,600. And again, we're only 494 away from 25,000. We're at 20 on the dono train because of Reflect, our early MVP. I missed you. We appreciate you. Always glad to have you in the building. And we're at 63 likes, 37 to get to our first goal on the likes here today. Yeah, I mean, Sir Anthony's stats aren't great. Obviously ERA of about 4. And again, the Mariners have been able to hit, off of him in the past and whatnot. But, you never know. A change of scenery, getting Castillo's, money off the books. They had to give us a few pieces in return. Sir Anthony will be used. I highly doubt Nolan Jones or the other piece, will be used on the team. They'll just be kind of, Arkansas Travelers and Nolan Jones on, the Tacoma Rainiers and whatnot. But again, you got to get something in return when you're trying to get a guy off the books. And again, I don't expect a lot from Sir Anthony, but the way that Bizzardo and Ferrer have been having meltdowns, anything to help us from having, complete meltdowns from guys that we're supposed to trust can only help the team moving forward until we get Brash, Criswell, and Vargas back. But Bizzardo's had 5 meltdowns out of his last 6 starts. Not good. RBIs and home runs galore. And Ferrer can't hit the strike zone lately as well. So I guess we got Gabe Spire, and we'll see how the rest do. And obviously we trust Andres Munoz a little bit more than we did at the beginning of the year. And obviously that's a good thing as well. Pitch fouled off there. High and away, four-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour, 1 ball and 2 strikes from Hancock to McKinstry. And again, what were the needs? We needed a right-handed bat and we needed bullpen. And it's not like we were going to get a Mason Miller type, for Castillo. So, and a hard hit ball there by McKinstry in right field. Dominic Canzone is there. And McKinstry with a strong throw to Cole Young. And that's a stand-up double by Zach McKinstry. So I don't think anyone should expect too much out of Sir Anthony, but again, if he ends up doing somewhat well, that can only, help us moving forward, because we just don't know how many guys, in the near future potentially could have an injury. We already are still waiting for Brash, Criswell, and Vargas. And again, let's be honest, Bizzardo and Ferrer sometimes look amazing. But again, this year and as of late, a little untrustworthy. And obviously we sent Hoppy away, and Davila was in AAA. So, some of those other weaker links we're trying to upgrade. So, and I'd rather have a pro than a AAA guy, unless he's ready, like a guy like Ryan Sloan and Cade Anderson, even though they're not in AAA yet. I trust those guys right now, if they got called up today, that they could get the job done in our bullpen to start off. 0-1 pitch, fouled off, high and away, four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, no balls and 2 strikes from Hancock to McGonigal. Top of the 3rd inning, runner at second, McKinstry with no outs. O2 pitch, little line drive. Cole Young is there. No double play attempt. Throw to first, and that is 1 away. A nice job there by Cole Clutch Young, doing Cole Clutch Young things. Runner at third now with 1 out, and hopefully we'll keep him there. Next up in the 2-hole, second baseman Gleyber Torres. First pitch to Torres, low and at the knees with the cutter, 87 miles an hour, low and away, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, big, swing and a miss, low and away, cutter 87 miles an hour, 1 ball and 1 strike from Hancock to Torres. And a nice play here by Colt Emerson. Look at the play. The laser throw at home. Got him. Beautiful. And again, we already know, Colt Emerson, he's got it. The defensive part like Cole Young. And to be able to have a throw on point, again, if we had someone there like JP, this is probably 1-0. No disrespect to JP, but his defense has gone a little bit down at shortstop and especially third base. But that's the reason we have Colt Emerson there. Great job with the laser throw by Colt and the awareness to throw home. And now we have 2 away. Great job. And that saved us a run. And Donnie and Colt are chopping it up and getting to know each other. And again, they're going to be able to make some beautiful plays for the Mariner infield. Donnie at third, Colt Emerson at second, Cole Young at short, or Colt Emerson at short, Cole Young at second base, and obviously Naylor at first. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Love that play. All right, next up in the 3-hole, catcher Dylan Dingler. And a little line drive up the middle, just out of Colt Emerson's reach. And runners now at first and second with 2 outs. And again, I don't mind if we give up a few hits here and there, but we just don't want to give up the big RBIs and the big home runs. Yeah, but as you know, Blue Jay, overall stats can be misleading, right? So you can have really good stats on paper, but it's just like in the NFL. What have you done for me lately? And if your numbers are bad, Bizzardo, 5 blown opportunities out of 6, that's not good. Again, I don't think Bizzardo had 5 blown opportunities out of 6 at all at one point last season. So, we just got to hope that those guys can kind of lock in, especially with some of these other guys coming back, even if we do lose Luke Raley for the year, which is rumored, but again, we still have enough pieces to still, kick ass and take names, even if Raley is out for the year. First pitch, big swing and a miss. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, little dribbler, broken bat, throw to first, wild throw, Jesus. And the wild throw gets away from Naylor. And Torres scores 1-0 Tigers. Come on, Mariners. Yeah, and again, sometimes, you don't want to have your player do a little too much, and after making a spectacular play, the rookie ends up making a terrible play to first that ends up being wild to Naylor, and a runner scores. Come on, Colt. But again, he's a rookie. He's going to make mistakes, and even vets make mistakes like that. But again, I do assume a big improvement in year number 2 on the defense and the offense, specifically out of Colt. But, that'll be a learning experience for him, and hopefully we'll be able to come back from it. First pitch into Colt Keith is in there for a strike, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. And a little blooper into right, and that's going to score another. Damn it. And Green's trying to get in and safe as well. You got to be kidding me. 3-0 Tigers. And again, base running has not really been our forte, but apparently it's the Tigers. And again, when a game should have been probably 1-0, now it turns into 2, and they tried to sneak in that last runner, and they got him. 3-0 Tigers. Man, not ideal. And it shows you how Uncle Mo can be very unfair in sports. When one thing can lead to another, and in the blink of an eye, 0-0 turns into 1-0, and then turns into 2 and 3 in a heartbeat. And the offense, we need to be able to get 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits, and we're going to have to slowly but surely kind of chip away. But first, we need to get out of this jam that obviously Emerson Hancock and the defense has got us in. First pitch to Torque. Ends up fouling it off towards third. And I still think we can come back and win this game. But again, we have to be able to get to 1, within the next 2 to 3 innings to at least, show that we're going to be chipping away. Obviously, it would be great if we could have a 3-run inning, ourselves. But, we'll see. 0-1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Hancock to Torkelson. One pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike after that cutter misses there by Emerson Hancock. And again, if Colt Emerson doesn't make that wild throw, maybe we're only down 2-0 instead of 3-0. So it's like, you got to be able to pick and choose your spots. And again, throwing on the run is very difficult for any player, especially if you want to make a running throw away from your body, going all the way, kind of running towards third and having to go in the opposite direction and throwing towards first. Not a lot of guys can make that play, rookie or vet. 2 balls and 1 strike from Hancock to Torkelson. 2-1 pitch, popped up and out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes with the runner at first and 2 outs, top of the third, 3-0 Tigers. And I'm going to be streaming the game tomorrow. Potentially, we're going to find out when the fridge is going to be delivered on Thursday. So with Paisley and her kind of rowdy tendencies, I may not be able to stream on Thursday. The game is on at like 1:10. And depending on if they get the fridge delivered in the morning, I'll be good. But if they end up coming while I'm streaming, then I guess I could walk away from the computer and then just have the music play until, the delivery people are done. But I don't really know how long that whole process would be. I really wouldn't want to be away from the mic for 20 minutes or longer, but we'll see. Hopefully I'll still end up doing the stream on Thursday. I don't really like missing games, but I got to make sure that Paisley behaves herself, and especially if it's strangers, she doesn't do too well with people like that. So especially people that she doesn't know in the house. Pitch fouled off, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Hancock to Torkelson. But I'm hoping that they deliver it in the morning, right? So that way I'll still have time to kind of, help unload, the old fridge and, get everything set up with the new, and, Paisley will be calm, and then, everything can be back to business. But, I'll keep you guys posted once I know tomorrow. 2-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. Down goes Torkelson, but I don't know, a little too late. And again, we're down now 3-0. But again, I still think that we can come back. We got a strong lineup. Vibes are high with obviously Donnie back. And now it's just about, getting back to business and hopefully being able to get on base, steal some bags, bunt, do a little small ball, and maybe get some home runs, because we are the most home run dependent team in baseball. And again, I feel comfortable that we can still come back. All right, next up for the Mariners as we go to the bottom of the third. Welcome to the team, the former Oriole and the former Angel, DHing in the 8-hole, Taylor Ward. Welcome to Seattle. Batting second in the 9-hole, shortstop, the phenom, Colt Emerson. You got to make up for that wild throw, and I believe he will. And batting third, leadoff hitter, second baseman with a walk, Cole Clutch Young. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. We're at 20 on the Dono train, 80 to go. 94 subs to go to 24,600. And let's see where we're at on the likes, how close we are to 100 as we approach the bottom of the third inning. All right, looks like we're at 73. We're almost there. 27 to go. Yeah. Well, luckily the fridge that we had lasted 40 years, which they normally only last 10 to 15. But, if you get those top freezer, old school fridges, they're made much better than a lot of the newer stuff that's out there. So, but every fridge has its day. Paisley's doing good. Obviously, we're dealing with the smoggy, the Spokane fire smog, that we're getting out here in Oregon as well. So we're doing the best to try to manage, waking up super early, to get our walks in. But again, with the smog, even though it's been 90 probably for the next 5 days, it doesn't necessarily feel like 90 with the smog, so at least I guess that part helps. But obviously the air quality is terrible. First pitch is a ball to Taylor Ward, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, four-seam fastball in there for a strike, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Melton the Ward. But we're still waking up at 6:30 for our first walk, really, really early, trying to get that second walk in around 9:30-ish before it gets too hot for a pause. But again, the cloud cover. I mean, I went out there this morning and the sun was red behind the clouds, and that normally doesn't happen unless there's fires. And obviously prayers up to everyone in Spokane and everyone else that is struggling. 1-1 pitch, fouled off and out of play. Four-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour, high and away. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss with the splitter into the dirt, and Ward gets fooled, and that is 1 away. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. And we know Colt Emerson had his first walk-off against the Twins after having that wild throw that kind of set the momentum in the Detroit's favor. Hopefully Colt can get us going here. First pitch fouled back to the T-Mobile bricks and off the catcher's face mask there, 0-1 count. And then on deck is Cole Clutch Young. Hopefully Riley is doing good. Cone was taking off. How's he doing? Zoomies in the garden. I love it. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. Nothing is, I feel as far as dog fathers and, just in general, for, being a parent to a dog or a cat, just seeing them not 100% and having to wear a cone is not ideal, but happy that Riley is, doing well. 0-2 pitch, fouled off, right down the middle, behind the plate, four-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Bottom of the third, 3-0 Tigers. 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Melton to Emerson. And again, Melton is a very good pitcher, 6-1 record, ERA of 1.75. So it may be a little slim pickings unless we get lucky with an unexpected home run or we rough him up in the 5th right before he comes out. But, we just got to be vigilant. 1-2 pitch, fouled off, low and away, out of play, splitter, 90 miles an hour. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, high and away. Down goes Colt, and that is 2 up and 2 down. All right, let's see if my favorite player, Cole Clutch Young, can get us going. Let's go, Cole. First pitch is high and away. Slider, 84 miles an hour, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, popped up, and out of play. One ball and 1 strike to Cole Clutch Young. And in 16 games since the All-Star break, he's 7 for 17, batting .354, 23 for 65 with 9 runs, 1 double, 2 triples, hard hit ball towards third and foul. So again, since the All-Star break, 7 for 17, batting .354, 23 for 65, 9 runs, 1 double, 2 triples, 3 homers, 8 ribbies, and a .961 OPS, almost 1,000. And that's exactly what you want to be able to see, out of a young gun like Cole Clutch Young. And again, he is the man. Might end up being our best player sooner than later. 1-2 pitch, and a little dribbler right past the pitcher. Throw to first, and just in time, and that is 3 up and 3 down. And that's saying a lot when we got guys like Julio Rodriguez on the team. And I think Julio and Cole Young are the 2 most valuable on the team right now, obviously as far as positional players. And I like what we've been getting out of Logan Gilbert and George Kirby as of late as well. All right, let's go to the top of the 4th inning. We're down by 3, and eventually we got to get on the board. Next up for the Tigers, the rookie phenom in the 7-hole, center fielder Max Clark. Batting second, 0 for 1 in the 8-hole, shortstop Javi Baez. And batting third in the 9-hole, right fielder Zach McKinstry. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. $94 subs to go to 24,600. We're at 20 on the Dono train with Reflect. 80 to go. And if there's anything that's been done on the Cash App or Venmo and I haven't mentioned, just let me know. And so that way I can take care of you. And just as soon as I say that, Christakis helping out with the fridge. Christakis with the tenor. All right, Christakis is helping out with Reflect. Appreciate that. Appreciate you. Some fridge help, he says, and I appreciate it. You know, fridges aren't cheap. And again, if anyone ends up having any support through Venmo or Cash App and you don't hear me mention it, it's clearly not to me ignoring. It's just that it's not giving me the notification, you know, on my phone while I'm working. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And again, if I don't mention it, you know, after a while, you can always holler in the chat and then let me know it's there, and then I can adjust our totals. Jay Buhner there joining the crew with Ryan Roland Smith and Goldie. And normally he's not at T-Mobile since he lives in Texas. You know, usually he's going to join the crew when we're playing against the Rangers since he has a home out there. But good to see Buhner, Bones, in the building. 0-1 pitch, line drive towards first, and foul. And Clark is batting .500 in limited at-bats. Got to be careful. And then on deck is Javi Baez. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Top of the 4th inning, 3-0 Tigers. 0-2 pitch, foul back to the T-Mobile bricks. No balls and 2 strikes from Hancock to Clark. We're at 30 on the Dono train with Reflect and Christakis. Shout out to you guys. You know, anything that can help with the fridge and, you know, with the dog food situation that I got coming up as well would be greatly appreciated. A lot of stress today in the family. You know, again, you know, especially when you buy groceries and, you know, with the heat wave and everything else, knowing that things could spoil and, you know, you just want to make sure everything goes as smooth as possible. 0-2 pitch. Popped up. Shallow center field. Julio and Randy converging. Julio is there. No fly zone, and that is 1 away. Mando in the building. What's good? Rebecca in the building. How are you? And a great job there by Julio Rodriguez in the no-fly zone. And what a cool, you know, gesture with the autographed bat for that young girl in the Twins series. That's going to not only change her life forever, you know, but her kids are going to be fans of Julio. Her kids' kids are going to be fans of Julio. The family is going to be a fan of Julio. And, I mean, think about how many nice gestures that we get, you know, from our players. You know, Naylor, you know, with all his custom Jordans, you know, with the box, signing it and giving it to fans, young and old. Slow dribbler, throw to first, just in time to Naylor, and that is 2 away. Down goes Baez. But, I mean, you know, it's one thing for Julio to trade an autograph on a ball for candy, which we know he loves candy, and he'll do that, you know, with a lot of fans, young and old, but primarily kids. But to get a bat that he used and he signed in between innings, not even before or after the game, during the game, and running out there and then being able to throw that up into the, you know, Julio section, the J-Rod squad, I mean, unbelievable gesture, and that, you know, type of story will always hang with me forever, you know, and we obviously hear these, you know, bad stories of people doing, you know, terrible things off the field, but luckily, you know, we got a lot of good class acts in the Seattle organization, and again, you know, making memories for a lifetime. When you give away a cleat, you know, when you give away a bat, when you give away a ball, that is eternally special, you know, just as it is when you end up catching a foul ball or a home run ball. Precious. 1-0 pitch, hard hit ball, and popped up out of play. Four-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour, high and away there by Emerson Hancock. 1 ball and 1 strike from Hancock to McKinstry. But those type of stories make me eternally proud to be a Seattle Mariner fan. Yeah, I know we haven't been to a World Series, but that doesn't mean that we won't. And I believe in the next 20 years, we'll have a good chance to go to at least 1 or 2. We may not win the first time that we go, especially if we play the Dodgers. But again, you know, I like this team. I like the direction that we're going since 2022, and it's just a matter of time. 2-1 pitch, low and away. Count now is 3 balls and 1 strike from Hancock to McKinstry. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 3-1 pitch in there for a strike. Nice sinker there by Emerson Hancock, getting himself into a little bit of a jam in that 3rd inning. Green reached on an infield single to the shortstop. Torres scored on the throwing error by Colt Emerson. And then Colt Keith singled to right. Dingler and Green, how dare he? You know, they went like kind of, you know, next to each other. right behind each other, and then we couldn't get either one on the tag, and those ones are kind of the worst. Now, we've had that go in our favor in the past, with Victor Robles and, Cole Young or Cole Emerson from, a few games back, where, you have one guy score and the other guy's right behind him. And if you're lucky enough to get both, then you can typically get, a 3-0 score if you've already scored one. And huge advantage, obviously for Detroit, just like it was for us when it happened. And that turns into a walk. McGonigal, ball is dropped, toe tap on the bag, and Naylor gets it just in time. Good awareness there by Josh Naylor. McGonigal, right after going after the walk on the previous batter, trying to take advantage of maybe just being out of position there. But great job to be able to maximize that position after walking McKinstry, and down goes McGonigal. Hard hit ball that almost got past Naylor, but thankfully Josh was able to brace himself, gather himself, toe tap on the bag, and get out number 3. All right, it's time to get on the board, Mariner fans. Let's go to the bottom of the 4th inning and see who is up next. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Next up, in the 2-hole left fielder, 0 for 1, Randy Arosarena. Batting second in the 3-hole right fielder, the Italian Stallion, Dominic Canzone. And batting third in the 4-hole center fielder, it's J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez. Shout out to our female audience, our new subs, our regulars, our mods, everyone watching in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond. 50th year anniversary, 40 years on the radio. He's retiring after this season. We want to make sure he goes out with a bang, so on every stream, we dedicate it to the one and the only Rick Riz. We love you. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 94 subs to go to 24,600. We're at 30 on the Dono train from Christakis and Reflect, 70 to go. And let's see where we're at on the likes with 203 in the room. We should be getting close to 100. We're at 89. Can we get 11 people to smash that like button to help us get more Tiger, Mariner, and MLB fans to join our stream? Only 11 likes to get to 100, and once we get to 100, we usually can land at 150 to 200 before the stream ends. Mando, I see you. Happy Tuesday, man. No Ref Snyder. No Garver. Pareda is on the team again. Brandon Donovan is back. The only downside is Luke Raley might be out for the year, but we'll kind of wait and see. But that's what Hollander was kind of mentioning yesterday. But, we'll see if that's true or not, if Raley can find a way to come back. But even if he is out for the year, we can still end up, going on a deep run. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and at the knees. No balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arosarena. 0-2 pitch, little blooper into right. Let's go. And a nice base knock there by Randy Arosarena. He might have hustle issues. He might be tough, ground balls and left. He is a free agent after this season, so he may not be back. But while he's on the team, keep it up with the hitting, Randy Arosarena. Next up is Dominic Canzone, the Italian Stallion. And I was looking to see what left fielders would be available. And the only ones that right now that will be available are Ian Happ from the Cubs, and his numbers are much worse than Randy's. And then obviously, Randy that plays primarily left. But that doesn't mean that we can't put someone that normally plays center or right, in left field if Randy decides to go to another team. But I think I would rather have Randy as DH, so that way we don't have to bitch and moan and complain about his defense and his hustle. But I'm not sure if the Mariner organization would be willing to do that, and I'm not sure if Randy would be willing to do that if he could actually play left field somewhere else full time. First pitch is high and away, 1-0 count to Dominic Canzone. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike from Melton to Canzone. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the Italian Stallion, Dominic Canzone. They have not released who would be taking over Riz on the radio yet. One-two pitch. And they tried to jam Dom high and inside, popped up, and out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Dominic Canzone. All day says is. Bottom of the fourth, runner at first with no outs. 1-2 pitch. Dom pops it up. Shallow center. Max Clark, my God. And again, I thought the three Tigers might end up running into each other. Clark ends up sliding and making an incredible grab, and he just got called up. So now they got Clark and McGonigal as their phenoms. Incredible catch, robbing Canzone of a single or a double. And at some point, our luck has got to change. Next up is Julio Rodriguez, and good for Randy to get back to first, so that way it wasn't a double play. First pitch with the cutter, high and away. Big swing and a miss there by Julio. 0-1 count. On deck is Josh Naylor. One pitch, another strike into Julio. No balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Takes a strike looking right down the middle, four-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour. 0-2 pitch from Melton, low and away. Good patience there by J-Rod. We know he's been antsy at times, but obviously we know he can bring out the patience that we definitely need. 1 ball and 2 strikes after that splitter misses, 91 miles an hour, low and away. Throw to first, and safe. I do think that we can come back, but we just got to chip away. I mean, this is, as long as it doesn't get above 5 runs, that's usually our maximum that we can come back from it. If it ends up being, a 6-run deficit, more times than not, we might be able to get 1 or 2 before the game is over, but it's usually done at that point. But we have been able to come back from 6-7 runs a couple times this season. But usually 5 is typically the cutoff, so hopefully we won't let it get to that point. And we also can get, some, back-to-back hits, some bunts, steal some bags, go get an RBI or maybe a home run. And usually once we get a home run, it leads to another home run, typically shortly after. And we are the most home run dependent team in baseball. So, it would be nice to be able to get a 2-run jack or a 3-run bomb. And that way we could end up tying this game up at some point. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 2-2 pitch. And that ends up going low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Slider 90 miles an hour after starting the count 0-2. Got a chance to draw a walk. Let's go, Julio. 3-2 pitch. Julio, hard hit ball, deep right field, fading out of play. Cutter 92 miles an hour. Count now is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runner at first, Randy Arosarino with 1 out. It would be nice if we could get Randy to steal a bag without, giving his cards away by jumping up and down and, kind of letting the pitcher know he's about to go, which he did earlier in the year. But we also don't want him to run at the wrong time and get thrown out. 3-2 pitch. And that was probably one of the best at-bats I've seen out of Julio. It's very hard in baseball, when you're an aggressive hitter, to go 0-2, with a strike or a foul ball, and then you end up being able to somehow, some way draw a walk. Good job, Julio Rodriguez. Now we got runners at first and second with 1 out. We got Randy at second, and we got Julio at first. That was a very, very patient, smart at-bat for Julio. I mean, if this was Julio in the first couple years in his career, he would never have been able to do that. So he's definitely maturing and coming a long way. Next up in the 5-hole is Josh Naylor, and I can smell an RBI coming sooner than later. And then you got the big dumper, Cal Raleigh, up next, and maybe he's due for a home run. We did predict the 3-run jack against the Twins here on the channel about 30 seconds before it happened, and we'll see if we get some Mariner magic and Soto mojo here momentarily. I know exactly what we need now. Good things happen when we show the moose. First pitch to Naylor, low and at the knees. It almost hits him in the knee. 1-0 count. Bottom of the fourth inning, runners at first and second with one out. We got a good opportunity to get at least a minimum of one in this inning. 1-0 pitch. Hard hit ball, deep right field, and out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike from Melton to Naylor. One pitch almost hits him in the knee again. Four-seam fastball, a little wild there by Melton, and I wouldn't mind if Melton has a mini meltdown here in the fourth or the fifth. 2 balls, 1 strike with runners at first and second and 1 out. Bottom of the fourth, 3-0 Tigers. 2-1 pitch, low and away. Melton having a hard time finding the strike zone now. 3 balls and 1 strike. Take the walk if it's there, baby. And we got Cal up next. So if we get bases loaded and he hits a grand salami, get the mustard and rye bread, baby. And then all of a sudden we could have a 4-3 lead and not look back. 3-1 pitch. Takes a strike right down the middle. Cutter. Naylor testing the pitcher to see if he can actually throw the strike. And now we got a full count again. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runners at first and second. Randy at second. Julio at first with 1 out. Cal Raleigh, big dumper on deck, and Cal has started to heat up in the last few games. 3-2 pitch. And Naylor should have been patient and not swung. It would have been ball 4, and gets fooled on that pitch, and he shakes his head as he makes his way to the dugout. Come on, Nails. And that is 2 away. Let's see if Cal Raleigh can end up being a hero here. And he doesn't even need to hit a home run. Just get an RBI single to make it 3-1. You know, beggars can't be choosers. We can chip away. But again, if he can get a hold of a fastball down the middle, it can be 3-3 here in a heartbeat. And on deck is Brandon Donovan. And first pitch, blasts one into right field, but foul, 0-1 count. Donnie is on deck. And obviously, I feel like Cal's been seeing the baseball a little bit better from the right side rather than the left. But we know the left side is his strong side. So at some point, you know, they got to kind of even out and, you know, be good on both, since he's obviously had injuries and struggled this season. But hopefully he can end up finding a way here. 0-1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Melton to Raleigh. And again, if we're not able to get, you know, 2 or 3 runs in an inning, we got to at least try to get 1, you know, either this inning or in the 5th. So that way we feel like we still have a chance to, you know, keep pace with this Tiger team. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. 4-seam fastball, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Melton to Raleigh. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Alec in the building. What's good? 1-2 pitch, popped behind the plate to the T-Mobile bricks. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Come on, Mariners, Trident's up. Big swing and a miss. Down goes Cal, and that is out number 3. All right, let's go to the top of the 5th inning, and, you know, we got to be able to get on the board within the next inning or 2. I'm not sure if we have to wait for Melton to exit. That might be the case, but hopefully not. Hopefully rough up Melton right before he goes out with a run or 2, and then we can rough up the bullpen, hopefully, but we'll see. Next up for the Tigers in the top of the 5th, 0 for 2 with a run, second baseman Gleyber Torres. Batting second, 1 for 2 with a run, catcher Dylan Dingler. And batting third in the 4-hole, 1 for 2 with a run and a K, left fielder Riley Green. Trident's up, let's go M's. 94 subs to go to 24,600. We're at 30 on the Dono train, 70 to go. And we're at 108 on the likes. Thank you so much. 92 to go. Thank you. I appreciate it. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. End of the fourth inning, 3-0 Tigers. As long as we don't, let this lead expand to 6-0, we'll be just fine. It's just a matter of time before there's a mini meltdown and we start to chip away. And first pitch there got by Josh Naylor there in foul territory on Gleyber Torres. And anytime you can end up getting kind of a cheap out, off the first pitch in foul territory, again, you'll take it every single day of the week. Good job there by Nails, who's got good awareness in first base and in foul territory in his area. One up and one down. Next up in the 3-hole, catcher Dylan Dingler. On deck is Riley Green. First pitch to Dingler, four-seam fastball, and there for a strike, 0-1 count. Mando with a tenner, appreciate you. Thank you so much. Today has been a nightmare. The fridge went out. One of my microphones ended up, going out. I don't know if it's the mic or the wire or both. Just a lot of things going sideways today. But I appreciate you. We're at 40 on the Dono train. Shout out to Mando. Shout out to Christakis. Shout out to Reflect. 60 more to go to hit the Dono goal. And anything that can be done with the fridge, as well as, a little dog food for Paisley, which I'm going to have to get pretty soon. It'll be greatly appreciated. It's been kind of a nightmare day, but, we're doing the best here as we can. 1-1 pitch popped up. Julio's back at the warning track, and that is 2 up and 2 down. Nice job there by Julio Rodriguez. .6-5 record, ERA of 3.26. Kind of has come down to earth a little bit, him and Bryce Miller, but they're still very, very good. And I'm glad we did not trade Hancock or Kirby. And Riley Green pops up. Deep center field. Julio back to the wall and gone. And just like that, 3-0 turns into 4-0. Riley Green, solo dinger, number 16 on the year. And the Mariners, we got to figure it out. And again, Hancock and Miller were really great early on, but again, have had some issues lately on the mound. And again, we just got to get our offense going so it doesn't look as bad. Once we get to 1, we're going to be good to go. Next up in the 5-hole, DHing Colt Keith. On deck is Spencer Torkelson. And we're going to go through, peaks and valleys. We're going to go through highs and lows, not only with our starting pitchers, but with guys in the bullpen like Bizzardo and Ferrer and Spire. Sometimes they're going to look great. Other times they're going to look fucking terrible. And sometimes you're going to have Miller and Hancock look like the best 2 pitchers on the team. And then all of a sudden they're going to look like, the bottom 2, with Woo, obviously who can't pitch on the road. And a little slow dribbler, that's fair. And it rolls to Randy. Uh-oh. And that ends up being a double for Colt Keith. And this momentum for the Tigers, Uncle Mo, it just don't quit. Next up is Spencer Torkelson, and we don't want them to score anymore. Got to be able to stop the bleeding here. But all it takes is one pitcher to have a meltdown, and we can get right back into it. Unfortunately, we've been having to play from behind a good majority of the year. We've had a lot of injuries, a lot of poor play. Sometimes the pitching is good, sometimes it's not. Sometimes the hitting is great, but a lot of times this year it hasn't been, And then if you have errors, on top of that, it makes it kind of difficult. But again, I still believe we can chip away. First pitch to Torkelson, big swing and a miss, right down the middle, cutter, 87 miles an hour, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, sweeper missing, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Hancock to Torkelson. 1-1 pitch popped up. And thankfully, this is not going to leave the yard. And Dom is there, and that is out number 3. All right, we just got to be able to dust ourselves off. You know, life is like the Mariners. You know, sometimes things are not fair. Sometimes things do not go your way in life or for the Mariners, you know, but it's all about your attitude. You know, how are you going to react? You know, being negative doesn't make things better. We just got to be positive as best as we can and just hope that we can chip away, you know, 1 inning at a time, 1 run at a time, and then hopefully have 1 inning where we can end up getting 1 to 3 runs and kind of making this a ball game before it's over. A lot of things that happen in life, and for the Mariners, you know, it's about how you react, you know. And again, there's a lot of things to be, you know, down about, you know, this season. But again, that doesn't mean that we can't dust ourselves off and, you know, just try to be able to get better every single day. Next up, 0 for 1 in the 7-hole. Welcome back to the team. Man, I've missed you. Third baseman Brendan Donovan, who was batting 300 to 350 before he ended up getting hurt. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a K, the former Oriole and the Angel, DHing as we got him at the trade deadline. A patient hitter, having kind of a rough year hitting-wise, but he can draw walks, Taylor Ward. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a K, shortstop with the error today that he's got to make up for, even though he got the walk-off for his first in his career against the Twins, Colt Emerson. He's young, he's a rookie, he'll learn. Trident's up, let's go Ems. 94 subs to go to 24,600. We're at 40 on the Dono train, 60 to go. And we're at 115 likes, 85 to get to 200. Let's go, baby. Donnie looking good on the thumb. And first pitch by Donnie pops up. And that is 1 away. Donnie, be patient in the box like you were at the beginning of the year. Relax. RELAX. Relax, my guy. You know, especially down 4-0. We can't afford to have, first pitch ground out, first pitch pop out when we're down 4-0. We need to get that pitch count up. Next up is Taylor Ward. On deck is Colt Emerson. And I imagine there's first game jitters, you know, for Brandon Donovan. And I know he'll get better as the season goes along. First pitch with the 4-seam fastball in there for a strike. 0-1 count. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Shout out to our female audience, our new subs, all our regulars, all our mods, and everyone watching in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond. I appreciate you. 1-1 pitch. Little dribbler past the pitcher. Throw to first. And just in time, down goes Taylor Ward. 2 up and 2 down. Next up in the 9-hole, shortstop Colt Emerson. On deck, Cole Clutch Young. Let's go, baby. Maybe we can get Colt on with a single or a walk, and maybe Cole Young can hit another home run and get us to 4-2. First pitch right down the middle for a strike with a curveball, 0-1 count. Oh, 0-1 pitch, low and away. Splitter missing there by Melton, who's obviously had a very, very quality season so far. 6-1 record, ERA of 1.75. 1-1 pitch, and Emerson pops up. Shallow center, and that is out number 3. We just might have to wait for Melton to exit, and let's take a quick look at the stats for the pitchers. Obviously, Melton doing better than Emerson at the moment. All right, what's the pitch count at? Melton's only at 70. Yikes. We got to get him out. That's why those long at-bats are so needed. He's at 73 pitches, so he's still going to be going probably until the 7th inning, unfortunately. All right, 5 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks, 73 pitches, 50 strikes. So we're probably only going to have 2 innings after Melton, so we got to rough him up at some point in the 6th or the 7th. And then obviously for Emerson Hancock, not having the day that he would like. Obviously he didn't get traded, but 5 innings pitched, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks. Yeah, we did have an error that kind of set the momentum into full swing with that wild throw to Naylor, which could have ended up maybe being only 2-0 instead of 3. And then you had the home run by Green, making it 4. 81 pitches, 61 strikes with a 3.36 ERA. But we just got to be resilient and vigilant and just hope that we can strike at some point. Next up, 0 for 1 with a base on ball in the 7-hole, center fielder Max Clark. Batting second, 0 for 2 in the 8-hole, shortstop Javier Baez. And batting third in the 9-hole, right fielder, 1 for 1 with a walk, Zach McKinstry. Trident's up. Let's go M's. All right, 121 likes, 79 to 200. I mean, I don't mind, other fans of other fan bases as long as they're civil, and have chat etiquette and are polite, and whatnot. Usually you'll get the haters and people that are rude and whatnot, and those are the people we can boot immediately. But, if there's other individuals, because again, there's not going to be streamers of every team in baseball. There's only a few of us that are full time, and you're going to get some for the big teams like the Dodgers and the Yankees, and a few people that do Blue Jays, and obviously I hold it down for the Mariners, but there's not a streamer that is quality for every organization on YouTube, unfortunately. So it's definitely not an easy thing to do, and a lot of people shy away from it because it's a very challenging thing. That's why you see a lot more people do football than they do baseball, because a lot of those people that do football could not do baseball even if they tried. 2-1 pitch, fouled off, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Hancock to Clark, but also you get people that are talented that can do anything. Baseball, basketball, football, hockey, NASCAR, wrestling, and again, we can do everything here. It's a one-stop shop, baby. And Clark strikes out looking. Paints the corner beautifully, high and away, sinker 94 miles an hour. And that is 1 away. And again, I would say probably about 10% of, visiting fans are civil and have chat etiquette, and the other 90 are, obviously trolling or, just trying to be a hater, and it's just not worth our time here. So, we'll evaluate accordingly. 1-0 pitch, big swing and a miss, 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike from Hancock to Baez. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. Sweeper right down the middle from Emerson Hancock. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Top of the 6th inning, 4-0 Tigers. And on top of that, just because someone streams, baseball doesn't mean that they're good at it. Like I said, there's a few people that do it, occasionally or part-time, and there's a few of us that do it, full-time, but just because they're streaming doesn't mean that they're good at it. I mean, it takes a lot of practice, a lot of, time and effort and energy, to be able to, go over pronunciation and enunciation, and to be able to know the game and the rules and all the players and the managers. And, again, it's a lot of a responsibility, and again, I carry that on my shoulders for not only Mariner fans, but for MLB fans across the world. Angry with a 5-er. Appreciate you. But again, we've had a lot of negative experiences, just like a lot of other streamers do, so it's easy to kind of, go that direction immediately. But we'll evaluate. It's all about, politeness, chat etiquette, and if it's going to be a vibe that works with everyone else. First pitch is fouled off there by McKinstry, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, and popped up there into shallow center right in front of Julio Rodriguez, and a nice base knock there by Zach McKinstry. Next up, leadoff hitter, third baseman phenom Kevin McGonigal. First pitch takes a strike right down the middle with the sinker, 0-1 count. And we got Rucker and Bizzardo warming up in the pen. Please, not Bizzardo. He's already had meltdowns 5 out of his last 6 opportunities. The last thing that we need is to go from 4-0 to 8-0 in a blink of an eye. And I don't really like Rucker that much either, but I think I trust Rucker right now a hell of a lot more than Bizzardo. You got to be able to prove to me that you can actually pitch a half inning and not give up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 runs, which Bizzardo has given up a lot of hits, RBIs, and home runs lately. Takes a strike looking high and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Hancock to McGonigal. And again, even Mariner fans, as we throw out the runner at second, even Mariner fans are not going to be invincible. This is supposed to be a place with positive vibes, and again, we have no time for negativity. And sometimes you're going to get negativity from, fans from other teams, and sometimes you're going to get it, from Mariner fans here, but again, things are going to be evaluated properly. And again, if you cannot be civil, even if you're a Mariner fan, that doesn't exclude you from potentially getting the boot. Bottom of the 6th. And now let's see who is up here for the Mariners. McKinstry caught stealing at second, and again, we can't be biased here, and of course, I love Mariner fans, but again, not every Mariner fan is created equal, and some Mariner fans can be just as bad or worse than opposing fans, believe it or not. Not everyone is built for, YouTube and the way that it works. All right, let's see who is up next, here for the Seattle Mariners. Next up, 0 for 1 with a base on ball. Second baseman, Cole Clutch Young. Let's see if we can get Cole to get us going. And obviously things have been not exactly what we wanted or thought would happen here today, with Donnie coming back, Garver getting released, as well as Ref Snyder. But again, we just got to be patient. All it takes is one bad half inning and we can get back in the game. Batting second, 1 for 2. Left fielder Randy Arosarena, and batting third, 1 for 2 in the 3-hole right fielder, the Italian stallion Dominic Candone. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. $94 subs to go, do 24,600. We're at 40 on the dono train, 60 to go. Anything that can be done to help out with the fridge and the dog food for Paisley would be greatly appreciated. It's been a stressful day. Fridge went out, Mike went out, just all kinds of just craziness. We got the smog and the bad weather, even though it's supposed to be 90 and up for a week. You can't even see the sun. It's all, smoggy from the fires from Spokane. Prayers up to everyone there and everyone in Oregon and Washington that's having to deal with the fires by that individual that, did something terrible to their family member and, did some arson and is causing all these problems here in the Pacific Northwest, which is not good. 1-1 pitch, high and away to Cole Clutch Young. Splitter outside, 88 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike to Cole Clutch Young. 2-1 pitch, And Young pops up into shallow left. Riley Green is there, and that is 1 away. Next up is Randy Arosarena. Yeah, Garver was released finally. Rob Refsnyder is released. Johnny Pereda got called up. Brandon Donovan is back. JP is still injured. Luke Raley might be out for the year. And then Brash and Criswell and Vargas will be back in a few weeks. So, some good things, some, bad things. But anytime you can get rid of, weak pieces, Castillo, and that contract going to the White Sox, hopefully he does well there. But it was time. Cade Anderson waiting in the wings. And obviously getting Taylor Ward at the deadline. But getting rid of Refsnyder and Garver today, fantastic. And Randy with a hard hit ball into deep center field, but caught by Clark. And that is 2 away. And obviously we already knew in May, Johnny Pereda was a better catcher and a better hitter. And the Mariners made the wrong choice. They went with familiarity, with the pitchers, since Garver has, been on the team for a couple years. But at some point, you got to go with the guy who's the better hitter, Pereda. And honestly, I think Pereda was the better defensive catcher, than Garver. But for whatever reason, the organization stuck with what they thought would work the best. But again, I feel like fans typically are smarter than the front office. We can tell what guys are worth being on this team and what guys aren't. But sometimes it's a business decision, and it's based on the money that they paid, and they're not always willing to admit that they were wrong, on picking up a guy like Rob Refsnyder for $7 million. Popped up into left, and Canzone flies out to Riley Green, and that is out number 3. But again, it could have been a lot longer. Imagine if they would have hung on to Garv as well as Refsnyder until September. They hung on to Dylan Moore for 3-4 months too long, where we could have brought up Leo Rivas, who was having a good AAA year at Tacoma last year, not so much this year since we called him up. But, you want to make sure you have the best players on the team to give you the best chance to win. And it finally feels like the team is at that point, even though we're in the first week of August. End of the 6th inning, unfortunately 4-0 Tigers, but we just got to be able to hope that something good happens here after, we end up getting the starting pitcher, Melton, to exit probably after the 7th. I mean, let's see where his pitch count is at. He's at 83, so he's still going to go one more inning. And then we just got to add 2-inning sprint after that, which is asking a lot, but I've seen it happen before. Next up, 0 for 3 with a run, Gleyber Torres. Batting second, 1 for 3 with a run, catcher Dylan Dingler. And batting third, 2 for 3 with 2 runs, an RBI, and a K. Playing some good defense in left field, Riley Green also has that home run when we were only down 3-0 to make it 4-0. And again, I hope we bring up Cade Anderson, pretty soon. Michael Arroyo and Lazaro Montes would be exciting to get a shot, to play on this team at some point. And again, if there's any minor or major injuries, Cade is up next, even though Cade Anderson and Ryan Sloan still are not in AAA yet. But they could be on this team today. They have the talent, both of them, to be better than any of the other AAA guys that we brought up. And honestly, they could end up being better than some of the guys that have been struggling lately, like Bizzardo. All right, Rucker is coming in instead of Bizzardo, thank God. And we'll see where this goes. All right, Mariner Moose, we need help. Help, sports gods, help. We need help. All right, Rucker. Rucker has been pretty good. As far as the AAA guys are concerned, he's probably the best one besides Davila that has been going up and down, in AAA. We got rid of Hoppy. Simpson is terrible, so, this is probably the best one, out of the guys, at the moment. First pitch to McGonigal, takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, high and inside, four-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour towards the head by Rucker. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and no outs. Top of the 7th, 4-0 Detroit. And I hope everyone in the Pacific Northwest is staying safe, with all of the bad air, with the fires in Spokane, trickling that smoke and smog into Oregon as well. You're supposed to feel that humidity and that hot, from the sun, but you can't even see the sun out here. It's like red, covered in the clouds and the smog and the smoke from the fires. And air quality is not great, but, me and Paisley still got to get out there and get our exercise in. 2-1 pitch. High and away, cutter 88 miles an hour, 3 balls and 1 strike from Rucker to McGonigal. And if you got to exercise yourself or with your pet, be cautious, because it's definitely getting worse and worse. And I don't think it's going to get any better until the end of the week. But again, if you have air conditioning, that's still going to be bringing some of the air in. But, depending on if you have any lung or, breathing issues, just got to be very careful. But again, it makes it challenging because it's like you want the AC, you want to be cool in the house, but also you want to make sure that the air, that, is in the house is breathable and safe, which it is. But, again, when I went out this morning at 6:30 for a walk, I looked up at the sun and it was like, a color like in a video game. I felt like I was in like Silent Hill or something, and it was like red. And I've seen it like that in the past with fires that we've had in Oregon and Washington. And I've also seen it where the whole sky is red and orange and whatnot. So be safe out there. And again, it's hopefully going to be gone for a lot of us in Oregon and Washington by the end of the week, but it could end up being a little bit longer for certain areas, especially if you're close to Spokane. Prayers up to everybody there. 1-1 pitch to Glaber. High and away, four-seam fastball missing. 2 balls and 1 strike with a runner at first and no outs. Top of the 7th inning. Tigers giving us a beat down here early on. Melton pitching a gem. Hancock struggling. Bats struggling a little bit. But again, there's still time, but we are running out of it. 2-1 pitch in there for a strike to Torres. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Rucker to Glaber Torres. 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss on a nasty curveball, low and away. And that is 1 away. I used to play a lot of Silent Hill. I loved Resident Evil, and those type of vibes. And obviously, if you're a big PlayStation 2 guy or girl, you have those same kind of vibes like I do as well. And PS2 is still one of the strongest old school, systems that still has got some good, titles that are still very, very strong to this day. Next up is Dylan Dingler. I mean, I won't lie. I still love my PS2 and my Nintendo 64. And a little slow dribbler there by Dingler. Double play. Got him, baby. There we go. Beautiful double play there by the Seattle Mariners. Rucker, that was the good decision, Dan Wilson, instead of Bizzardo. And now, we got to find a way to get back in this game. And again, we only have 3 innings left. 1 with Melton, and then hopefully 2 by bullpen pitchers that have meltdowns, and we can creep back into this game. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 1 with the base on ball center fielder. It's J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez. We could definitely use a home run. J-Rod batting second, 0 for 2 with a K. First baseman Josh Naylor. When we had runners on first and second, it kind of felt like that Naylor-Cal situation was kind of an opportunity that definitely was missed. Hopefully it won't be missed again. 0 for 2 with a K. Let's go Nails, Josh Naylor. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a K. Catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. So if Julio can get on with a single, Naylor gets on with a single, Cal hits a home run, boom, we're right back in the game, 4-3. Trying to talk it into existence, but I know it's definitely a big ask. Gained another sub during the commercial break. Appreciate you. 93 subs to go to 24,600. We're at 40 on the dono train. Mando, Christakis, and Reflect. Shout out to the three of you MVPs. See if we get a few more MVPs to step up to help me out with the fridge, as well as some dog food for Paisley. And we're at 126 likes, 74 more to 200. Yeah, my favorite PS2 game, I mean, there's a bunch, the Gran Turismo series for racing was revolutionary. But again, I think Grand Theft Auto, Vice City, and San Andreas, they still hold up to this day. And we obviously know the new Grand Theft Auto is coming out. But again, it's one of those vibes that if you don't feel like playing 5 or, going through some of the other, options, throw to first, got him, and down goes Julio. And again, some people can afford the next gen stuff, others can't. But again, I still feel like Vice City, to me, is still one of the greatest titles of all time. The music is really what takes it to another level. That 80s vibe, obviously the Scarface vibes, and the music track. San Andreas ain't no slouch as well. That's another banger. And that's a very close play here with the Super Mo, sponsored by Snoqualmie. And it looks like Julio is out, and that is 1 away. First pitch with the cutter there from Melton and Naylor, 0-1 count. Steph in the building, what's good? I mean, there's still amazing stuff on NES and Super NES, Sega, Dreamcast, which is a system that I wish I still had. Very underrated. 0-1 pitch, line drive up the middle. Tough play. And off a 3-hopper, and Naylor, you got to hustle, my guy. And that is 2 away. I mean, if someone's getting on with a 3-hopper, you're not doing your job. And normally we talk about Randy not hustling, but Naylor should have ran a little bit harder there. I know he's a big boy. He steals bags, but that was kind of a poor effort by Naylor when we're down 4-0. Next up is big dumper Cal Raleigh. And again, we got to call a spade, right? Just because we like certain players, just because we like them, we can't just give them a bailout just because it's Josh Naylor. We have to make sure that, we're watching, every pitch, every play, every, opportunity for effort or no effort or half effort, which we actually get quite often. You just never know, if they're going to catch the ball at first. You never know if the throw is high or the throw is low or if the first baseman's going to bobble it. You always run hard, and that's one thing I really miss from Luke Raley. He always is going to hustle in the outfield or to first base. 1-1 pitch, popped up, and out of play. And it's one of those things as a player and a person, you either have it, or you don't. It's not really one of those things you necessarily teach. You can be called out on it from coaches and managers and whatnot, but it's something that, it's like those amazing players that play defense, not only in baseball, but basketball, football, and hockey. It takes that extra, something in you to be able to want to shut down the other player on the other team, like in football, or to be able to go the extra mile defensively, in baseball and hockey. And to shut down your defender in the NBA and the NFL and college football. Not everyone is built, to be able to go the extra mile. 2-2 pitch. Low and away. Splitter missing there by Melton, who's had a great game here. Count now is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on, 2 outs, bottom of the 7th, 4-0 Tigers, and we just need to have 1 half inning where we can crawl back into this. You know what game is super underrated? I like the fishing games for the Dreamcast with the fishing rod. It's like arcade style. Awesome. And line drive, and Cal gets a base knock into right field. And again, I'm not really necessarily a fisherman myself, but I thought that those games were fire, like as far as like kind of different and fun, and the arcade style and, the controller vibrating when you're trying to get the certain fish in the certain areas and you're on the boat. Graphics are good. You're battling the fish, making sure that it has like the view of underwater so you can kind of see the fish fight and whatnot. And obviously there's a lot of other really cool games, but the simple fact that they made the fishing rod for those games, took it to that next level to me, in my opinion. And if I ever did get a Dreamcast again, that would be the first thing that I would buy. I would buy the fishing games and then buy the rod, the controller. And then obviously there's quite a few other titles that I would buy on the Dreamcast as well. Very, very underrated system. And I wish Sega was still, in the game. Obviously we know Nintendo's got the Wii and you got Xbox and PlayStation, but I grew up with the Sega Genesis and I grew fond of the Dreamcast. And I know I'm not the only one. Next up is Brendan Donovan. Now I'm getting everyone into video games. They're like, ooh, I need to go old school, play some old school games. Please do. It's good for the soul. Especially you play something when you were younger, whether you were a kid or a younger adult, it definitely brings back the vibes. And ABS here, challenge. Good call there. Nice challenge there for Brendan Donovan. Call is overturned from a strike to a ball. 1 ball and no strikes with a runner at first with 2 outs. Come on, Donnie. .1-0 pitch with the 4-seam fastball, low and at the knees, but on the corner. 1 ball and 1 strike from Melton the Donovan. Wii bowling, oh my God. So many memories with friends with Wii bowling and Wii anything. And sometimes it's not just the game itself, it's like who you played with and the memories that you created back in that time period. 1-1 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Melton the Donovan. And I'm a real big nostalgic guy in the 80s and 90s, with collectibles and toys and movies and music. So, that's why, I feel like, that generation is undefeated. You had the best athletes, the best wrestlers, some of the best movies and music. Not to say that, some of those things are still decent now, but again, everyone's going to have their eras that they grew up in, and definitely a lot of really good vibes in the 80s and 90s. I mean, for me, I grew up in the video game era. I grew up in the internet era. I grew up to seeing the best athletes and the best wrestlers and amazing music and movies, and I feel very blessed. 2-2 pitch, broken bat up the middle, right to Melton. A little bad luck there for Brandon Donovan, and that is out number 3. And let's see where Melton's at pitch count-wise. Hopefully he's done. And he's at 96, so they really pushed it with a 4-0 lead, but he'll be out, and then we're going to have 2 innings to hopefully get, it's a big ask, obviously, as we know. 2 in the 8th, 2 in the 9th, or unless we have 1 monster inning. And again, it's easy to be negative and say, oh, this game's over. And again, a lot of times when we're down 4-0, yeah, it ends up being a game where, we end up losing 4-5-0, or maybe we score 1 and have a little fight at the end. But you never know. You never know who's coming in the bullpen. And if they can have a Bizardo, appearance for them where, they have a meltdown, anything is possible. All right, let's go to the top of the 8th inning and see who is up next. I miss old PC games like Max Payne too. I know some of y'all are on that Max Payne tip. Man, and playing that for the very first time, mind-blowing. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. All right, next up for the Tigers in the top of the 8th. 2 for 3 with 2 runs, an RBI and a K and a home run, Riley Green. Batting second, insane day, 3 for 3 with 2 ribbies, Colt Keefe. And batting third, 0 for 3 with 2 Ks, first baseman Spencer Torkelson. Trident's up, let's go M's. $93 subs to go to 24,600. I believe we're at 40 on the Dono train, 60 to go. Let's see where we're at on the likes. We're at 129, 71 to go. Oh my God, Leisure Suit Larry. Wow. I mean, I'm so old that I played Oregon Trail at school. I would go to the computer lab and I played Oregon Trail, and I lost my mind. So, I grew up, my first system was Atari 2600, and then Nintendo, Mario 1, 2, 3, Tecmo Bowl, Super Tecmo Bowl, Double Dragon. I mean, you name it, I had it, man. And, again, so many memories with the Street Fighter and the Mortal Kombat, Super Nintendo, Sega. I mean, I can go on and on and on, and I know you guys know I can't. First pitch there to Riley Green, and we have Simpson in, another AAA prospect who isn't that great. So Obviously, they don't want to really use any of our good pieces since we're down 4-0, which is understandable. I've always, kind of dreamed on one of those Steam handheld, options. Obviously, you can, get the other option as well, like the, computer and whatnot. But, maybe one day. 1-1 pitch fouled off. Simpson by Riley Green. Low and out the knees with the sinker. 92 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Top of the 8th, 4-0 Tigers. Oh, Crash Bandicoot was amazing. I mean, I played Earthworm Jim. I played Booger Man, on Sega. I mean, so many, Mega Man. So many different, genres of games, and it just depends on what ones you are into. Final Fantasy VII, incredible. 2-2 pitch. And that is strike 3. Simpson kind of getting a lucky call there on the corner, but we'll take it, and that is 1 away. Yeah, especially if you're like 40 to 45, you know exactly what I'm talking about, especially with the things that I'm mentioning. Obviously you could still, understand those things being even older or even younger, just depending on your interests and whatnot. But, just based on like growing up in the G.I. Joe, Transformers, Ninja Turtle era, and the things that were going on with the video games and the internet. Pitch fouled off with the sinker right down the middle, 93 miles an hour. No balls and 2 strikes from Simpson to Keith. Battletoads. I actually played Battletoads at the arcade for the very first time, and me and my best friend beat it. Never even knew they had an arcade machine of Battletoads. It was incredible. Very similar to Ninja Turtles, but a little harder, but amazing. Great soundtrack and great movement with the joystick and the moves. But a very, very rare machine. 0-2 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Simpson to Keith. Yes, Tekken Tag Tournament. Still have it. And a line drive. Nice job there by Brandon Donovan. Good defense. Throw to first, and that is 2 away. I got one of those Case Logics that has like 50 movies, DVDs, and then I got like 20 PS2 games. And I still have it. So it's like, going back to watching physical media since everything now is all digital, and to be able to look through those as well as those games that I bought back in the day and I never sold them. I'm very thankful for that. Little dribbler up the middle there by Spencer Torkelson. And now he gets his first hit of the day after starting off 0-3 with 2 Ks. Next up, rookie phenom center fielder Max Clark. On deck is Javi Baez. Primal Rage. I remember it. Killer Instinct at the arcade. Mortal Kombat. Putting my quarter up, to play next. A lot of memories. Mortal Kombat 2. I mean, when that shit came out at the arcades, it was just insane. Killer Instinct with the 50-hit combo. Seeing some little kid that's like 5 beat my ass. Like, insane. But, people have those memories. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. And we're not talking just Chuck E. Cheese, Wonderland and all those other, locations. Time is called. Oh, 2 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? And down he goes. Simpson gets us out. And that is out number 3. But with all of the nostalgic talk, I guarantee there's a lot of you now, either tonight or tomorrow morning. You guys are going to be hopping on, to any of the old systems that you have and I'm telling you, the feelings and the vibes that you get, even if you only play for 30 minutes, and just kind of soak it in. It can be really good for the mental health, let me tell you. Especially if that system has been collecting dust, go get it out of the garage or out of your closet. Trust me, it'll be worth it. Next up, 0 for 2 with a K in the 8-hole, DHing Taylor Ward. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a K, shortstop Colt Emerson. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a base on ball, second baseman Cole Clutch Young. Oh man, Tony Hawk Underground, incredible. $93 subs to go to 24,600. We're at 40 on the Dono train. 60 to go. 133 likes, 67 to go. Right hands up. Let's go, M's. All right, Melton is finally out, I believe. Yes. Wagasback is in. Yeah, I liked all of them, but I think it was easy to kind of, lean, to the Michelangelo. I'm a big toy collector too, so 0-1 pitch popped up and center field and caught by Clark, and that is 1 up and 1 down. We need to see some more patient at-bats tomorrow in game number 2. Next up is Colt Emerson. My best friend is a Donnie guy, a Donatello guy, and so anytime I try to see what, options I have and whatnot. So like when we go to the arcades, I can, swap between the characters, but. So we got Young on deck and Emerson in the box. But usually when we go to the arcade, we usually try to find a turtle, arcade game if there's one available, and we usually beat them. We'll sit there and spend 30, 40 minutes, on one game and try to beat it at least once when we go. And we got one of the biggest arcades in the United States in Oregon, so that's always fun. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, high and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Wagasback to Colt Emerson. Great era for music too, for kind of the emo bands and that certain style of music that you heard in a lot of video games back then. Amazing soundtracks. Big swing and a miss there by Colt Emerson, low and at the knees, and that is 2 up and 2 down. Now we're gonna need a little Cole Young, clutch action here. Obviously we're struggling, and if anyone can get us going, it's Cole. Even if it's a solo dinger, that could be something that could get us going. Come on, Cole. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. First pitch is low and away with a cutter, 85 miles an hour, 1-0 count. And sometimes I'll end up going and watching old school, Turtles and Transformers and G.I. Joe, the cartoon from the 80s and the 90s. Obviously we know X-Men and, Batman, the animated series. Those were the 2 best, or 2 of the best in the 90s, but, that's my era, so. 4-seam fastball, high and inside. 2 balls and no strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Wagasback on the mound, Young in the box. Come on, Cole. TJ in the building, what's good? 2-0 pitch, high and away. 3 balls and no strikes to Cole Clutch Young. And then also if you have a 64, any of the Zeldas, my God, so much memories, they did such a great job with making those for the 64. Mind-blowing. 3-0 pitch. Takes a strike right down the middle. I remember my really good friend down the street got 64 first at my school, and I got PlayStation first, and playing Mario for the very first time, in 3D, lost it. Completely lost it. 3-1 pitch, high and inside, and Young with a walk. There we go. But still to this day, one of my favorites, and still one of my favorites, Grand Theft Auto Vice City. It's really hard for me to get away from that game, when I just want to have good vibes with the music and go cruise around. Nice job there by Cole Young. Let's see if Randy can get us a little bit of that Soto mojo and that Mariner magic. Come on, baby. Mariner Moose, we need help. And first pitch to Randy, popped up into shallow right. And caught, and that is out number 3. And again, just an observation, vibes are high. We cut Refsnyder, we cut Garver, brought up, Johnny Pareda, Brendan Donovan's first game, right? But with all that being said, and Taylor Ward playing in his first game as well, the lack of patience in the box has cost us this game. And again, obviously the lack of hitting and Hancock not having the greatest game on the mound. But if we could have been a little bit more patient today, things could have been better where we could at least be at 4-2 going into the 9th rather than 4-0. Obviously that missed opportunity when we had Randy and Julio on board, and then Naylor was up with Cal. We should have been able to capitalize there. But again, when you only get 3 hits in one particular game, hard to win. All right, let's go to the top of the 9th and see who's up next. All right. Sir Anthony Dominguez is making his debut. Next up is Javi Baez. On deck is Zach McKinstry. Batting third is Kevin McGonigal. So this is the first opportunity to seeing Sir Anthony Dominguez. I don't know what to expect, but hopefully it's not bad. He's got an ERA of 4, but again, with the way that Bizzardo has been playing, it can't be any worse than that. So hopefully we get some good vibes from Sir Anthony Dominguez, who we got in part of the deal with Nolan Jones and also a farm player, for the Luis Castillo deal. But the main reason they got rid of Castillo is because he was being, overpaid, over $20 million, and then Refsnyder over 7. And when you got 2 players that are the, 2 worst in their position groups, sometimes you got to be able to cut your losses. So, but let's see if Sir Anthony Dominguez can make us Mariner fans, hopefully happy. And as long as we're able to be a little bit more patient tomorrow, good things will happen. Oh, Dragon's Lair. My goodness. I mean, especially when you're about the graphics, right? It's like if you grew up on Atari or Nintendo and then you go to the arcade and you see things like that, you're just mind blown. First pitch from Sir Anthony Dominguez to Baez, takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch gets away from Cal back to the backstop. 1 ball and 1 strike from Dominguez to Baez. A little bit. I mean, that wasn't the intention, when Brooks made it, but you can definitely feel a little kind of Knight Rider vibe-ish, yeah. 1-1 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Javi Baez. 2-1 pitch, low and away again, 4-seam fastball missing. 3 balls and 1 strike with nobody on and no outs. Top of the 9th, 4-0 Detroit. 3-1 pitch, fouled back to the T-Mobile bricks. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Javi Baez. Time is called. Come on, Sir Anthony. 3-2 pitch, popped up and behind the plate and foul. Count still remains full. 3 balls, 2 strikes from Dominguez to Baez. We'll do better tomorrow. Just not our day today. But at least we got rid of the weak links. 3-2 pitch. And that's strike 3, but being challenged here by Baez. Let's look. Wow, call is overturned. And look how close it is. My gosh. And that's going to turn into a walk. Come on, Sir Anthony. And a dribbler up the middle. Young can't get to it. Yikes. 4-hit game from McKinstry, and now we got runners at first and third with no outs. Next up is Kevin McGonigal. Come on, Sir Anthony. We want you to be an asset, not a liability, my guy. I mean, we already had a liability in Castillo. That's why we got rid of him based on his contract as well. Oh, they're not bringing Mooney in when we're down 4-0. Mooney comes in when we're about to win the game, not when we're down 4. You don't want to waste Mooney for an opportunity like this. First pitch to McGonigal, popped up and out of play. 0-1 count. Gargoyles, X-Men, and Batman. You know it. 0-1 pitch with a sweeper, low and away. And I imagine it's going to take a little bit of time for Sir Anthony, Taylor Ward and Brendan Donovan to get back in the groove. I'm missing J.P. Crawford tremendously and Luke Raley, as well as Vargas, Criswell, and Brash. So, we're getting closer to, hopefully being healthy, but it's been challenging. Top of the 9th with runners on the corners at first and third with no outs. And a little line drive towards first, toe tap on the bag. Runner scores 5-0 Detroit. Oh yeah, it's terrible out here. From those fires from Spokane and whatnot. I mean, it's so cloudy and muggy. It's supposed to be 90 to 100, in that range for 5 or 6 days, but it doesn't feel like it, based off the smog and the cloudy fire smoke. I went out this morning for a walk with Paisley at like 6:30, and the sun was red behind the clouds. It was just crazy. First pitch to Gleyber Torres, big swing and a miss, 0-1 count. Make sure you guys would be safe out there. I got to go out there here after this game is over to take Paisley on a walk, but we'll probably limit the distance that we go. But I still got to get my 5 miles in every day. So 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Dominguez to Torres. And, I'll be streaming tomorrow, but then on Thursday, the game is at 1 and we're having a fridge delivered. So I may not be able to stream depending on when they come, because obviously once they, are here, I got to, take care of Paisley. Otherwise she'll go crazy with delivery men, trying to take out the old fridge and install the new. And if I were to stream and they would show up, I might be away from the stream for 20, 30 minutes. And I guess I could do that, but, I don't know. I'd rather not, but I want to stream. Hopefully they'll deliver the fridge in the morning so I won't have an issue, but I may or may not, stream on Thursday just because of that, particular issue, but hopefully they deliver it early so I can, because I want to. 2-2 pitch. Popped up into deep left field. Back, and gone. Man, insult to injury. Sir Anthony Dominguez giving up a 3-run jack, or is it a 2-run jack? And now we're down 7-0. Yikes. Sir Anthony, what happened? McKinstry on board, 7-0 Tigers. And Gleyber Torres, the former Yankee, punishing Sir Anthony Dominguez. And again, we'll play much better, I believe, on Wednesday and Thursday, but I don't think anybody anticipated this. I mean, vibes were high. Bye, Garver. Bye, Ref Snyder. Hello, Taylor Ward. Hello, Donnie. You know, we did not expect this. Dylan Dingler up. Next up is Riley Green. But again, we are the most home run dependent team, you know, and I guess it's just one of those days, you know. We're getting our ass kicked. Fridge broke. My microphone ended up having issues. And Dingler goes yard. My goodness. 8-0 Tigers. Make the pain stop. Maybe we need to send Sir Anthony Dominguez back to Chicago. My God, if it's going to be like this, no thank you. I mean, I'm glad we got rid of Castillo's contract and all, but we don't need another Edward Bizzardo. My goodness. Welcome to Seattle. That's not the response that we were expecting. And I knew he had an ERA of 4, but I didn't expect him to potentially give up 4 runs in the 9th here, you know. And I guess it can only go up from here, looking this bad, you know. But again, you know, we had to get something in return, you know, to get rid of Castillo. So, and really it was more about the contract, the money, and they took on all the money and we had to get some people in return. But this was not exactly what we were expecting because the other 2 pieces aren't probably going to play for us at all. They were just kind of, freebies thrown in. But come on, Sir Anthony. Yeah, I mean, ERA of 4. I mean, obviously, you know, anytime you have an ERA of 4 or 5, I mean, that's like when we were having struggles with Mooney and Castillo. It's not good. 2-0 pitch, or like Bizzardo lately. 2-0 pitch, and a little blooper in the left. I mean, we need to limit our weak pieces, you know, and I mean, maybe Sir Anthony Dominguez needs to be on the bench for a while. I mean, I'd rather have Rucker, you know, than Dominguez at this point if this is what we're getting. Call up Kate Anderson and Ryan Sloan. Send Dominguez to AAA. I got Cole Wilcox warming up at the pen. I trust Wilcox and Rucker more than I do Dominguez at this point. You know, first impression, you know, when you meet someone. First impression here of Sir Anthony. Not good. First pitch high and away, four-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Dominguez to Keith. First impression, you're hopping out the bathroom window and leaving. One pitch, another ball. High and away, 2 balls and 1 strike from Dominguez to Keith. Yeah, I believe we will. We'll bounce back. May have to restructure the batting order tomorrow. And also, you have to remember how good of a pitcher that we went against. It's not every day, you know, that we go against a guy that's 6-1 with an ERA sub-2, 1.75. So I knew it was going to be tough, but I didn't know it was going to be a meltdown here at the end. Oh, man, a walk to Keith. Man, Sir Anthony Dominguez looks like Bootios out here. I mean, I thought Edward Bizzardo was bad. Jesus. I mean, Sir Anthony Dominguez might need to get cut after this. Welcome to the Mariners. Goodbye. Terrible. That might be maybe one of the worst first impressions that we've seen in a long time. You can go back to Chicago for free. We don't even want you. All right, Cole Wilcox coming in. You know it's bad when a AAA guy can outpitch you. Even the Mariner Moose was disgusted with Sir Anthony. We might have to put Johnny Pareda, in at like DH, at least get someone that can hit. All right, Wilcox comes into the game. Next up is Spencer Torkelson, and hopefully we can get out of this before we get down by double digits. But again, this is what it's like being a Mariner fan. It's not always pretty. Sometimes it's ugly, even though we had a really nice looking lineup after getting rid of some weak pieces. But again, it's about chemistry and kind of, pulling it together and going against a tough pitcher and then having a meltdown at the end of the game. Not ideal. And then on deck will be Max Clark. And a little dribbler towards third base and foul, 0-1 count. We actually did do something. We didn't trade away Kirby and Hancock for a garbage. Again, it could have been much worse. Getting a bat like Taylor Ward, even though he hasn't really had a great year with Baltimore, more for like walks and trying to get on base and whatnot. But I think it was more of what we didn't do ended up being the positive. We kept Kirby, smart, kept Hancock, which I believe is smart, instead of getting, less in return. Imagine getting rid of those guys and getting guys like Sir Anthony Dominguez type of guys in return, talent-wise as starters. It would have not been good. Yeah, we would have been able to call up Cade Anderson, but we want to make sure that we still have, good players on the team. So, and it's not like we're going to trade Mason Miller for Cade Anderson. Hell no. Big swing and a miss. Nice punch out there by Wilcox. And again, we got rid of Castillo, which was smart, and again, we got rid of Ralph Snyder and Garver today. Smart, which we don't really say with the Mariner front office often. And, we just got to be able to get some chemistry and put it together. I mean, we don't want other teams to fleece us out of our number 2 pitcher, George Kirby, and our number 4 pitcher in Hancock. So 0-1 pitch. In there for a strike, 4-seam fastball, high and away. No balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Top of the ninth, 8-0 Tigers. Yeah, but Dan and Jerry both got to go. I think we're all under that consensus from, a long time ago. 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Wilcox to Clark. One-two pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Top of the ninth, 8-0 Detroit. And luckily, we've only gotten blasted like this, 10 to 12 times this season, which is too many, but it could have been a lot more. 2-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and down he goes. And they leave 2 stranded, so at least we're not down 10-0 right now. And now, easy peasy lemon squeezy. All we need is 8 runs. And then 9 to win, right? Easy. Next up, 1 for 3. The Italian stallion in right field, Dominic Canzone. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a base on ball, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. And batting third, 0 for 3 with a K, first baseman Josh Naylor. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Let's see if we can at least get 1 before the game ends, and hopefully that momentum will carry over till tomorrow. Let's go to the bottom of the ninth, 8-0 Detroit. 93 subs to go to 24,600. Gained another sub moments ago. Appreciate you. 92 subs to go to 24,600. We're at 40 on the dono train. 60 to go. Let's see where we're at on the likes. And we're at 141. Can we get 9 more people to hit the like button to get to 150? That'd be great. Hey, somebody's got to do it, and again, I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. I know there's a lot of other teams out there and a lot of better situations, but, again, when you're a fan in the Pacific Northwest, whether it's Oregon and Washington or both, sometimes it's not pretty. Sometimes it's ugly, and you need to be able to have someone to, kind of keep the calm in the rough storms like today. And again, got to be patient, got to be positive, and, you're always going to be able to have someone that loves the team just as much as anyone on planet Earth. And you also will have somewhere to go to share that passion with other fans, even though sometimes it goes wrong like it did today. Appreciate you. Shout out to Bo. Bo knows. 1 ball and 1 strike to Dominic Canzone. And again, this has been probably the most challenging year we've had in the last 10, 20, 30 years, especially with the injuries. Injuries, poor play, poor managing. I mean, if we can get through this year, we can get through anything. Facts. Probably the most challenging year I've seen in the last 40. Especially with the talent that we have. 2-1 pitch in there for a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Dominic Canzone. Two pitch, popped up and out of play. Goes back to the T-Mobile bricks. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the ninth, 8-0 Detroit. And down goes Dom, and that is 1 away. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. And when you're getting blasted like this in the 8th and the 9th, you're pretty much playing for individual statistics since you're not going to come back and win, just trying to be able to get, another home run under the belt. Julio at 16 homers. Let's see if he can get 17. On deck is Josh Naylor. Oh, 1 pitch, popped up behind the plate and out of play. No balls and 2 strikes to Dominic Canzone. Tomorrow will be better, 100%. It'll be better. Hopefully the lineup will be rearranged. We're not going to be going against as good of a pitcher, hopefully, and we'll find a way. Obviously, when I looked at the lineup card today and saw 6-1, 1.75 ERA, I already knew we were up for a very tough challenge. And I don't think anyone anticipated Sir Anthony Dominguez shitting the bed and giving up 4 runs in the 9th. 0-2 pitch, and Julio, line drive. Let's go. Nice hit there by Julio Rodriguez in garbage time. Great job, Julio. Next up is Josh Naylor. Sometimes you got to celebrate the little victories, not only in life, but in baseball. Game's over, nothing to play for besides individual stats. And, sometimes you can pick up some garbage stats in garbage time that can add to your, season totals. And good job there by Julio. Good effort. First pitch to Josh Naylor, low and at the knees. 1-0 count. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. I do believe Dan at some point will be fired. It just took a long time for Scott Service to get fired. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of Lou Pinellas that are out there, or Tony La Russas, or Dusty Bakers. A lot of these guys are no longer managing, or they're getting close to being done, or they're done. And it's just a revolving door of former players that may have not even really been that good of a player, and a lot of them aren't very good managers either. And it's just a cycle of guys getting hired and fired. It would be nice if they were able to, go outside of the MLB and, grab some of the best college, coaches, guys that are winning natties, like LSU's coach that, won with Cade, guys like that getting an opportunity, to come up to the big leagues, but you rarely see it. 3-1 pitch. High and away, and a good at-bat there for Naylor, drawing a walk. See if we can get at least one on the board. And with one swing, Cal Raleigh can put us at 3. And then on deck is Brandon Donovan. Try to set up, let's go M's. But I'll tell you what, I'm happy that Brandon Donovan is back. I missed you. I'm happy that Rob Refsnyder is gone. Goodbye. I'm happy that Garver is gone. Goodbye. And I'm happy that Johnny Pareda is back on the team. Should have never left in May. And I wish the best for Castillo, Refsnyder, and Garver, but sometimes you got to get rid of your weak links, and it's just about time getting the chemistry back. And it also shows you how valuable JP Crawford is to the team based on his patient at bats. Even though he might have some errors at short and third this year, but his presence in the lineup and just out there, it feels a little bit different when JP is there when he's not. We didn't really have a lot of patient at bats today. And that's one thing that you're going to get from JP almost every game. He doesn't have to get a hit. He doesn't have to get a hit to impact the game. He can get walked and, find other ways to be productive. 2-0 pitch to Cal. And there for a strike. Slider getting in. 2 balls and 1 strike from Diaz to Big Dumper. And last year, I don't believe it was luck. We didn't have injuries, and guys got hot, and again, this year, we've had more injuries this season than in any year in the last 40, so you can't discredit that. Bad manager, injuries, poor play, Wu and Kirby and Mooney shitting the bed early on, Donnie getting hurt, there's a lot of stuff that, has gone wrong. And it's been, obviously Julio and Cal and Naylor being terrible at the beginning of the year, We were one of the worst hitting teams in baseball at the beginning of the year. There was a lot, going against us. And, even with that being said, we still have a chance to make the playoffs since the American League is bad this year. So we have to be thankful for that, that we're not in last place. 20 games below 500. We have to be happy. Even though we're a few games below, it could be much, much worse. Got to be positive. And down goes Cal looking, and that is, unfortunately, 2 away. All right, come on, Donnie. Let's see if you can get a hit in your first game. Come on, baby. Come on, Donnie. On deck is Taylor Ward. One 0 pitch in there for a strike. One ball and 1 strike to Brendan Donovan. And a hard hit ball in right field, fading out of play. We got runners at first and second. Come on, Donnie. And, if you end up missing on your starting third baseman that potentially was going to be one of your top 4 players of the year, and he ended up leaving within the first, month of the season, think about how many teams that wouldn't be very good after that happened. It's just not the Mariners. I mean, especially with the talent that Donnie has, that was a huge blow to our team, since he was our leadoff hitter. If you don't have a good leadoff hitter, it's hard to be a good baseball team. I mean, we already know what it's like to have a great leadoff hitter. Fuck, we had Ichiro, right? And think about how many different times he made an impact on the game. I mean, we haven't been able to see a player like him since. Guys going, 3 for 5, 4 for 5, 5 for 5, 5 for 6. I mean, he was a true one of one. 1-2 pitch, popped up and out of play. And they've tried other guys, J.P. Crawford and Randy and Julio and now Cole Young, and whatnot. But again, having a very strong leadoff hitter, makes a huge difference on vibe, not only in the beginning of the game, but throughout the whole game. 1-2 pitch, popped up and out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Bottom of the ninth, 8-0 Tigers. We'll go over these stats after the game is over. Not a whole lot to go over with the Mariners, but things will be better tomorrow, I promise you. 1-2 pitch, check swing. And he did not go. 4-seam fastball there by Diaz. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Brendan Donovan. Two-two pitch, and we have a challenge. And that is strike 3, and that is the ball game. All right, let's go over the stats here quickly. All right, Kevin McGonigal 0 for 4 with an RBI. Gleyber Torres 1 for 5 with a home run with 2 ribbies. Dylan Dingler 2 for 5 with a home run and a ribby, scoring 2 runs. Riley Green 3 for 5 with a home run with 2 runs and a ribby. As you can see, a little theme here. Colt Keith going 3 for 4 with 2 ribbies. I mean, we just absolutely destroyed here at the top of the order besides McGonigal. Spencer Torkelson 1 for 5. Max Clark 0 for 4. Javi Baez 0 for 3. And then Zach McKinstry going 3 for 3 with a run. So, a good chunk of their players ended up getting 2 or 3 hits. And, when you have half of the team getting 2 or 3 hits, you're in trouble. And then obviously for the Mariners, not a whole lot to go over. Cole Young with an unfortunate 0 for 2 day. Randy Arosarena 1 for 4. Dominic Canzone 1 for 4. Julio Rodriguez 1 for 3. And again, things are, tough for us to even get 2 hits for a player lately. Josh Naylor 0 for 3. Got to be better tomorrow, Josh. Cal Raleigh 1 for 4. Brendan Donovan 0 for 4 in his first game back, but he'll get something tomorrow. Taylor Ward 0 for 3. We should swap Taylor Ward for Johnny Pareda tomorrow at DH if they're going to go that route, unless they put Dom there. And Colt Emerson 0 for 3 after his first walk-off against the Twins. Well, it's not what we expected. And again, it's tough being a Mariner fan. But again, we just got to be resilient. And again, final score, Tigers 8, Mariners 0. I'll be live tomorrow, same time, same place. And I got one question for you. Well, who talks sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Try to hit up and go Mariners.